Hello everybody, and welcome back for your tarot reading for Thursday, August 13th, 2020. Let's get these cards shuffled up and let's see what the energy is going to be for Thursday. What you want to know, what you want to keep in mind, and different strategies you may want to have, right? So, let's put these cards down and let's see where we're going. Our first pile, our second pile, and finally now our last. And let's see. I'm kind of feeling this last pile here today, so let's see what we have for a card. What are we looking at? And right now we're at the Queen of Swords, so let's talk a bit about this Minor Arcana card and what it means to us, what we want to keep in mind, and what keywords we want to have for our Thursday, right? So when I look at the royal cards, whether it be king or queen, what I generally do is I break it down not so much by an individual or a person, depending upon the reading, but in this type of reading environment, what I usually do is put it down into the type of energy from the card. So the king energy would be a masculine energy versus the queen's energy, obviously, would then be a feminine energy. And the reason I do this is because when you look at energy, masculine energy is usually our conscious thought, what we're actually thinking, what we're actually planning, goals that we actually have that we're putting into place. Versus feminine energy being our subconscious thought, taking those goals, taking those action plans, and actually putting them into play so that what our intent is eventually gets manifested. So in this type of reading, I'll be looking and referring to this in more of a feminine type energy realm. So some of the things we want to keep in mind when we look at this card, we look at the energy for this Thursday, is honesty and truthfulness. We get the sword, that's about communication, that's about thought, and obviously we're looking at honesty, truthfulness, being candid, somewhat being protective, being able to communicate well and freely, as well as being chatty, witty, funny, being principled, as well as being fair. Also comes to the energy of being open-minded, right? So that's definitely part of where we're at. So from a general context, when we're looking at this, this is all about approaching your day, being sharp-witted, being thoughtful, being honest, and being candid. Also keep in mind that you want to be candid, but you don't want to be mean, nor do you want to be rude, right? So different things that we want to consider as we get into our day. Some of the other things you want to understand, you want to recognize, is recognizing yourself and some of the achievements that you've made, some of the accomplishments that you've made along the way. And in doing so, being able to pay forward and helping others out, listening to their ideas, listening to their brand of communication, not so much with judgment, but so much with open-mindedness and actively listening. And be aware, one of the things you want to stay away from this Thursday is just focusing on things that you don't have. This is a time to focus on things that you do have and to put focus on the energy of what you want to do next, where you want to go, and really putting those seeds down so that you can actually grow into them, and not doing that, what was me, looking at your life saying, oh, this isn't where I want to be right now, how am I going to get in there? In other words, staying away from self-obsession and staying away from, for lack of a better way of putting it, pouting. Now, from a love and relationship standpoint, this is all about communication, right? You get the swords, you get the queen. It's all about active and passive communication. Let's not forget that the feminine energy does deal with the subconscious aspects of our being. So that being said, Be aware of passive communication, how you may, someone else may interpret some of your actions and some of the ways that you do things, whether it be a simple eye roll or whether it be full-blown passive aggressive notes. So just be conscious of that and be aware of that and maintain those open lines of communications. And from a career standpoint, this is a good time for you to seek and offer support and assistance, as well as constructive criticism. The key word here, and an emphasis on constructive criticism. That being said, this is also a good time for you to be honest with yourself as well as with others when you're sharing your opinion in a constructive manner. This is all about communication, so you should be going into your work environment completely ready to communicate, both with active listening as well as speaking and being clear with what your intents are. So all in all, I think it's a pretty cool Thursday card. I do hope you enjoyed this reading. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. And until then, be safe, be well, and be blessed.